Yo, so what's going on? I'm back. I'm here. You know. Um. Yeah. I ain't. It's kind of crazy because what I about to say. You know what I mean? It's been about some days. I actually. Um. I got a. I got. I. Oh. I got. You know. Unlawfully detained. You know, taken against my will. It was police officers who did it, but you know, the way things are in the Bahamas is like if you know your rights, it's like you can't ask a question. But anyway, nevertheless, to say, you know, the police came and got me on some bullshit, pretty much. You know what I mean? And they arrested me, and when they did that, you know, it was crazy what I found out. With them doing that. Um, with them doing that, what I found out what it really was about was kind of crazy. So, basically, they came, and I was at home. They came and approached me, told me what their names was. I didn't even hear what the officer said because he spoke so fast. Um, you know, and when he told me their names, I was like, me knowing, the law or whatever, I'm in my mind, I'm like, okay, why they even stopping? Like, what they suspect me of, or what's the problem? I ain't commit no crime. I wasn't about to commit a crime. They ain't suspect me of a crime that I did, right then and there, or you know what I'm saying? And even if they did, when he came up, he never said anything. They just told me their names. Now, like I said, I ain't really heard what he say, but I know he said the names, but I ain't really heard what he say. So, my next response after him calling the names was like, okay, so, in the most humblest way, I looked at both of the officers and I was like, okay, so what's the problem? Because you coming to me telling me your name is fine, but I don't care about your name. I would rather you as an officer come to me and tell me what you want, what's the problem, rather than you to come to me and play tic-tac-toe with my brain while I'm sitting on my porch, but that's the games they play, but came up to me and was like, said the names or whatever. I ain't really heard it. But, you know, when I asked what's the problem, he was like, okay, I told you our names. I ain't trying to play no games. What's your name? So me knowing my rights, knowing ain't no crime happen. I ain't living no drug neighborhood. I ain't no criminal. I ain't selling no drugs, guns, none of that stuff, right? So in actuality, I'm on my property. So whatever you want, you came to me. So you have to tell me what you want. You saying you want to know my name, but in all actuality, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you suspect me of? What's the problem? What's the crime? So, through all that, I asked again, what's the problem? He was like, we could do this here, or we could do this somewhere else, or like up the road or some shit. And I was like, what? But at the time, I had a bear in my hand, in my right hand, and my phone in my left hand. And what happened was, I like spun to put the bear, like it was like some vehicles was in the yard, but needless to say, I turned around to put the bear down, right? Now me, being a free man, not under arrest, I don't have to be intimidated by the police officer. First of all, I'm in my yard at home. You come up to me asking me a question, don't necessarily mean I have to answer you, unless you give me a good reason to answer you. You know what I mean? Especially without me committing a crime. So you know, with me going to put my bear down, it's like, okay, let me put my bear down out of respect and let me talk to the officers. So I didn't even take a step. All I did was spin in the direction of like to go and take a walk. And the officer yoked me up from the back of my pants. And, you know, you know, long story short, how the altercation actually happened, the other officer quickly they came in. At this time, they came on the property. They came on my property. So this was trespassing already. And, you know, and one officer hurry up, threw the cuff on, and actually rigged up my arm and got right now all my whole shit, like my shit just tingling, like my nerve or some shit damaging and shit. So, you know, he fight me, took the bell out of my hand. When they took the bell out of my hand, I took the phone out of this hand, put it in my pocket, and gave him my right hand. As I did that, you know, they proceeded to fight with me and pull me and push me out of my yard. So by the time they got me out of my yard, tossing and turning and yanking on me, putting on the cuffs, pulling on me, they were like robots. It was like they came to do what they came to do, and nothing was going to stop them because they weren't saying anything. The only time they started to talk was, what happened was, as they started to pull me, you know, my hand is kind of like still, you know, my skin is kind of messed up, and all of this is like swollen all up in here and stuff like that, where they was fighting me, pulling, pushing and pulling. One started to pull and one was pushing, so I swung like this because how he pulled, like the cuffs went way up, and as the cuffs went up, it's like it scratched up all of my hand and shit, you know. And it's like some days later, but you can still see, like, even though it's dry skin, you can still see the scratches on there, you know, and right here on the bone and all that. So, and it's on my bone there, and it's swelling on the inside there. On the inside, it's like painful up here, like. So when they pull it up, as they pull the cuffs up, what my hand cuffed to my back, it was like with the fight they was doing when he pull up, with my hands being behind my back, I twist in a fast motion, like, what's the, continuously I was asking, what's the problem? So as I spun, mistakenly hit the officer in his face. And when I mistakenly hit the officer in his face, that's when he shouted to me, "Oh, now you lock up for assault on an officer." And I kind of like immediately went numb. And when I went numb, I just, you know, started to proceed to walk with them to the vehicle. So I got a video. I'm going to show you all the video. So the video is just the end. The video is just the ending part of me actually walking with them after the fact that I mistakenly hit the officer, because at first, you know, they already took me against my will because they trespassed and kidnapped me. It's, you know, basically and unlawfully detained me, yanking me and pushing and pulling me out of the yard. So with that, you know, y'all gonna see the ending part of the video after I mistakenly elbowed the officer, telling him I did apologize. My mom was outside screaming, saying, just talk to them and tell them. And I was talking to them, asking them what's the problem. And my brother was outside. He did the recording. He was asking the officers what's the problem. It's like they are stuck on, you know, just I don't know, just being rude or disrespectful and making criminals out of just anybody. I don't really know what it is, but unfortunately I was caught up in it while at home in a residential area. No record, no criminal record, no criminal history, not a criminal, you know, don't interact and all of that stuff. Actually, I be home all the time. Y'all see me on the vlogs. So it's kind of crazy, you know, the way stuff be going on here on the island. It's just the island is like the Wild Wild West in Afghanistan, and it's crazy. And the police, like, they don't have, the police is like the biggest gang regardless. Like, you know, they run the city. So, you know, it is a fact. It's nothing to be, you know, dry snitching about. It is what it is. It's a fact, you know. So in the video showed a piece where, you know, I, you know, was being detained at that point, arrested for resisting an assault on an officer.
What y'all doing me? Just walk. Y'all gonna get no way to off. Yeah, when I asked him what I do. Yeah, but I.
So at this point, you can hear my mother and my brother in the background asking what happened, and me at the same time. I was actually up off my feet in the cuffs.
Officer, what do you do, officer?
At this time, this was the only point the officer spoke, and you heard me saying apologizing, realizing I mistakenly hit the officer in the side of his face.
No, you apologize now. Go inside.
But I ain't never do
Go
nothing.
inside.
But you should have
You should have bloody yourself.
So, you know, by the time I would have gotten to the station, they would have booked me in for murder, resisting, and assault on an officer. So I was like, what? Y'all got me here on what? Murder? Ooh. So immediately I was pissed, because I'm thinking in my mind, like, wow, like, who did I murder? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Like, I just couldn't really believe it was happening to me, because, you know, in today's society here in the Bahamas, you know, for the people that live that lifestyle, you know what I'm saying, being caught up in that murder and arrested by the police and gangbanging, that shit ain't cool. You know what I mean? Like, the way the officers do their interrogation and the way they do their thing, I don't understand why gangbangers or criminals continue to do the things they do and go through the things they do, you know. But, you know, needless to say, you know, like I said, I ain't a criminal, no priors, no records, none of that stuff, you know. But, you know, we all come up and we been through things, you know what I'm saying? I came up, I been through some things. I ain't no angel, but I'm sure I ain't no criminal, you know what I mean? Anything I may have done and left it in the past. Nothing to, you know, nothing to brag about, you know what I'm saying? Nothing to, you know, say that I've been no big boss off of doing this or doing that, but we all have dibble and dabble in some things. I've been a gangbanger back in the 90s and stuff like that, but, you know, and, you know, the beginning of the 2000s, I wasn't even living in the Bahamas, you know what I'm saying? So, it's like the longest I've been living in the Bahamas, you know, even though I was born there, you know what I'm saying? So, it's like, you know, it's just kind of crazy with what was going on. So, yeah, I just had to get that to y'all, and that's why it's been a while. That's why y'all ain't seen me, and you know, been trying to post. You know, I've been new to this vlogging, but I ain't been trying to, you know, stay away too long. But I'm here, and I'm back, and we gonna keep the videos coming and keep the videos going, and we ain't gonna never stop. You been to Dello? Go on. Open the thing. Yeah, I mean, it'll never stop. So, you know, we're gonna keep this going, keep it going. You know, I feel a little better. I'm in a little better spirits than I was. I actually got out yesterday. I got out yesterday because, of course, it was a false claim. It was a false charge. But I did end up with 2 of those sticking, and on those 2, not stuck with a record, but just gotta go through a little stuff now and keep my nose clean, you know. Nah, I don't fuck with that white, but yeah, you know. Just stay out of the people way, especially stay out of the police way, because, you know, just as simple as me driving down the street, you know, going to get something to eat, going to the grocery store, you know, the police pull you over. It's super harassment. The ignorance that they have, the way that they treat us or certain people, or you know, I'll just say me, for instance, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like, it's beyond, like, it's beyond me, you know. And I just wish that they could get it together. I just wish that, you know, some of them could go to anger management and therapy and all that stuff. Because, you know, they pull somebody over for probably smoking a joint or whatever, right? And they harass that person, be disrespectful, but the person, mind you, might be quiet the whole time, but they disrespect the person all because they found that person just smoking a joint, right? And to them, that joint is like, oh, okay, you smoking weed? Yeah, that's all y'all want to do, just smoking weed and this and that. Come, you lock up. Come, that's all y'all want to do, smoke your brain cells away. Y'all stupid and y'all ain't making no sense. Or y'all like, so, you know, they gonna be real rude and real disrespectful. You know what I mean? And then you go through the system for it. You end up in some therapy or you end up in some anger management class, when in all actuality it's them that need the therapy and the anger management for the way that they treated you and got you in this position. You know, so it is what it is. That's my 5 cents. You know, I've been through. Listen, I've been arrested before multiple times. The first time I've been arrested and was in a jail cell, and I gonna give y'all a life story of me, and it's gonna be nice. But the first time I got arrested and sat in a jail cell was at the age of 11. And it had to have been at the age of 11 because I was in the 7th grade. Or the 7th grade, I think we'd be 11. But like 11 or 12, so, you know, I thought it was 13. When I recalculated and did the maths, I realized that I was like 11 or 12 in the 7th grade. And, like, shit is bugging, you know what I mean? I wanted to cry like 10 times. I was like, murder? I was like, nigga, I don't even go outside. Like, I don't even go outside. Like, and the thing about it is, it was so good that I got hit with resisting, and it was good that I got hit with resisting and assault on an officer, even though it was a mistake, because if I didn't have that to go with, they was going with the murder. Yeah, so all of this actually happened on, when that was January 11th.
Why you want this boy outside like that?
January 11th was when that happened. Yeah, right, coming right now. We going, Annie in now? Yeah. Alright, yeah, so all that was January 11th. And I just got out yesterday, which was the 14th, so, yeah. So I came home yesterday, you know what I mean? Yeah, so we gonna get back to the vlogs and all of that stuff, and like get everything back to normal. But I was in a very messed up place for the past few days. I was about to go to prison for something I ain't do, something I ain't know about. I ain't have no affiliation with nobody. That I don't even know how to wrap my head around it to show y'all that I don't even know what was going on. But like, basically, I don't even know what was going on. It was, like I said, I cried 10 times, but the tears never came out. And like, it's just was crazy to me. And I don't know, it's still a bugging, but today been a better day than yesterday, being released yesterday. So today being a better day already, start off a little better. So we gonna stick to that, staying better and looking for brighter days and all that stuff. Yeah, so what y'all could do is stay posted. Got them coming. You know, when I came out, the first thing I did was checked on my investment. You know, been doing things to make sure I take like a stupid ass bath and get some clean. I've been ready to shave this beard off, but it wouldn't be right to get rid of the beard. But excuse me, I had there's a few people been looking for me. I had some support. Like I say, that's a situation that I gotta live with. That we only gonna go up from here. You know what I mean? So y'all stay focused, stay tuned. You know what I mean? Got some videos coming. You gotta put them together. All that stuff. So, yeah.